Hey guys, Ryan here. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how to improve your aim while just playing the game. I'm going to be breaking this video up into 3 different sections. The first one's going to be understand that aim progress is a long-term thing, not a short-term. The second is learn to identify where you're lacking in your aim and how to improve those areas. And lastly, Rebirth and or Plunder and Storage Town are going to be great for getting a lot of repetitions in. And don't underestimate how much you can improve your aim by just learning the feel and recoil of a gun through long-term usage. You guys don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe, but if you do, I really appreciate it. But I also just want to say thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy it. But let's get into it. The first thing that I really want to go over is that there is no short-term miracle fix for someone's aim. There are a couple tips like better centering, get the right sense, whatever that can help. But almost all aim progress is going to have to be in the long term. And you're going to do that by understanding what aim is and the different parts that make up aim. Aim is comprised of tracking, it's comprised of flicking, it's comprised of just so many different things. Your ability to shoot while moving is completely separate from your ability to snipe while stationary, which is completely separate from your ability to use shotguns up close, which is completely different than using an AR on some dude on a head glitch 40 to 50 meters out. All of those are different types of aiming, and they all require different skills, and there's so many different ways to go about it, but they all make up a total package. And there's no short-term way to address all of those or to fix all of them. All of it takes time. And the other thing is your aim, it's going to be different from day to day, from moment to moment. Sometimes you're going to be flicking like a god, you're going to be hitting those headshots, and then the next day, you just may not have it. You may miss easy shots, people may just destroy you up close, you may feel like you just can't hit anything, but then a couple weeks later, you're out there, you have a new PR kill record, you're feeling good, you're feeling great. That's part of it. Your aim is going to go up, it's going to go down, but if you're focusing on the long-term progression, you will notice the results. You may not see it tomorrow, but in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, you're going to be like, holy cow, I'm a lot better. And the other parts of this video that I'm going to go over are going to be directly related to this first part, which is why I started with it. Just the last thing is be patient with yourself, give yourself time to grow, and allow yourself to be bad at times so you can become good in the future. I know that sounds kind of cliche, corny, or whatever, but I do mean it. You are going to make mistakes, and those mistakes, if you focus on why you made the mistakes, are going to be the reason why you're going to be a lot better. Alright guys, now I want to kind of transition into the second section, and that's going to be helping you identify the weaknesses in your aim and how to improve them. There's a huge difference if your weakness is trying to hit people up close who have really good movement, and that's a struggle for you, then you're going to need to work on it in a completely different way than someone who struggles to kill people at long range with an AR. That's what I want to help with. You have to be able to identify what it is you struggle with, and then that is going to allow you to understand how to improve it. If you need to work on better aiming up close because you can't hang with people with good movement, that's going to start with having good movement yourself. Or it's going to be that you need to get better at tracking people and get maybe a slightly higher sense. But on the flip side, if you're finding that maybe you're not able to hit people at long ranges, it could be that your sensitivity is too high, or you need to give yourself more practice with your sensitivity. Some people really struggle with flicking onto targets that aren't directly in their line of sight, and that is very understandable. That is why it's all about long-term progression and identifying these things. Because until you understand what it is you need to work on, there's not going to just be some miracle fix. I will say that centering, like I talked about in my very first aim video, is one of the only things I can really say to help people automatically. But almost everything else is just long-term progression and getting a lot of reps in. I would consider it very similar to shooting a basketball. Once you get the core fundamentals, the core technique, once you have things like centering, tracking, just that overall skill base, it's then about just nailing down the reps and the muscle memory until that when you're in the moment, you're not thinking about aim. But for some people, when they start to jump or add different movement techniques, their aim gets a little worse. And that's another thing. You have to be able to identify, oh, I'm weak when I jump shot or when I drop shot. So let me go into a plunder for a little bit, 15-20 minutes, and just practice it. And then while I'm playing the rest of the day, I don't have to commit my whole brain to it, but every now and then, just practice it. Make sure that you're focusing on it every now and then, and you're going to see that long-term improvement. Don't expect to just magically get better overnight and just be able to have perfect accuracy while hitting all your jump shots, because that's just not how it works. But it is possible to start saying, wow, I am a little weak when I go against someone who drop shots. Maybe I need to start pulling down on the joystick a little more because I'm just not keeping up with how fast they're dropping, and I'm shooting right over their head. And so now, guys, this is going to transition into that third part, which I kind of just mentioned there a little bit at the end, but I really do believe that a lot of repetitions is going to be absolutely key and vital to your aim. And just playing normal Verdansk, it's just not that easy to get it. And I'm not saying you have to play your entire day just doing Plunder, Team Deathmatch, or whatever. I would only just do a game or two. And if you're having fun, if you're really enjoying it, maybe more. But I wouldn't force yourself to just practice your aim over and over and play those if you don't enjoy them. I would just say that warming up and playing one or two of these will help your aim, and just focusing on every gunfight, whether it's your guns with the loadout or whether it's the guns that you picked up from the ground. But the second thing that I'm going to go over in this section is this, guys. Every gun in Warzone has a predictable recoil pattern. There is a somewhat variance to it, but for the most part, it's predictable. So if you give yourself time with using a gun, you can actually really get better with your aim by just being good at using certain guns. I'm not saying you need to master a couple guns, but what I'm saying is if you really like a gun, something like the M4A1, for example, that little bit of recoil it has can be learned pretty reliably, and you can be someone who's overall very good at controlling the recoil on the M4A1, and that's going to be a big boost to your aim. Some guns you're going to have to give time to get used to them, and that's hard because it's not easy to have to practice a gun, and in the moment it's going to feel terrible because you're going to be losing gunfights. The kick's going to feel too much for you. You're going to be like, I don't know, man, I don't know if this gun's good. But I promise, guys, a key part of aim is just using and understanding almost every gun in the game. I'm not saying you have to understand and master every gun, but what I'm saying is if you want to use a gun or you want to focus on being better, use guns that you have comfortable aim with and familiar aim with, because that is a key part of Warzone. That's why I also suggest playing Rebirth and or Plunder, because with Plunder you can spawn with certain guns. The time to kill is going to be different because most people have 2 plates in Plunder if you go to Storage Town for the team deathmatch. But in Resurgence, it's not the easiest thing to get your loadout. It is pretty easy, but it's not necessarily a guarantee. So you will get more practice in with ground loot guns and whatnot, and Plunder is guaranteed for your loadout guns. But as I've stated from the start of this video, is give yourself time. It's about long-term progression. Focus on what your mistakes are, focus on how to improve them, and then lastly, just give yourself the time to actually get better. You can't make up time. There's no substitution for the fact that you just need time to get better. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to have a couple more coaching videos coming out in the next couple weeks, as always. So if you like this one, keep an eye on those. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate all the support as of recently. I started my channel about 6 months ago, and I really did not expect about 300 subs and over 30,000 views in that time period. It's absolutely crazy to me, and I just mainly want to say thank you. I hope I can keep making content that you guys enjoy. You guys don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe, but if you do, you know how thankful I am. I hope you have a good day. It's been Ryan. Peace.